Yes, we are open, an award-winning podcast, only from Oneris. Yes, we are open. Yes, we are open. Hosted by Grego. He's an FOTM. And yes, we are open. Are we open? Yes, we are. Yeah. What up, Mike?
I feel like I need jazz hands at the end of that.
Did you bring your awards?
Yeah, they're in my backpack.
Go get your awards. I'll wait. Welcome to episode 1709 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Yes, we are open, an award-winning podcast from Moneris, hosted by FOTM Al Grego. Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. The best baseball in the city outside the dome. Catch a game at Christie Pitts this summer. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. Building Toronto Skyline, a podcast and book from Nick Iones, sponsored by Fusion Corp Construction Management, Inc. and Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, returning to kick out the jams, is Al Grego.
How are you now?
How you know? That's a. I always get this messed up. That's a Letter Kenny thing.
It is, yes.
And you host Yes, We Are Open, which is an award-winning podcast.
That is right.
And I learned, I think it was last week, you won yet another award. Are you like adding on extensions to your trophy case? Like, what did you just win?
Adding wings to my home. We just won Branded Podcast of the Year. That was Just Good Business actually won that one.
Okay, and, your other fine podcast.
Yeah, and Yes, We Were Open one. What is it? Most Creative Branded Podcast or something like that. From both of them from the Quill Podcast Awards.
Okay, the Quill. Those are esteemed awards. I don't know. They sound like they're made up, but I think it's a really impressive thing that you keep winning these awards. You know how we joke Elvis has a Costco room?
Right.
Do you have a trophy room yet for all the podcast awards you win?
Yeah, I call it my office. I've got all my awards on the wall and all my other knickknacks, just like you have, which no one ever gets to see. You need an opposite view camera so people can see.
Well, you're welcome to take pictures if you like. You could be live streaming your experience here today and let people see the other side of this studio. Off the top of this episode, we're going to kick out jams related to season 8 of Yes, We Are Open, which was a fine season. We'll discuss it. Lots to catch up on. But what did you think of the cold open today, the Rob Prussian production, your jingle?
I know you hated it because it's AI garbage.
I don't like it.
I know you don't, but that's fine. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. You know, it wasn't made without effort, so I appreciate Rob Pruss putting the effort in to create a little jingle for Yes, We Were Open. So thank you, Rob. Even if Mike hated it, I thought it was endearing.
Did you hear the Rewinder theme that Blair Packham put together yesterday?
Listened to it this morning on my way into work, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And Blair Packham killed the new theme song. I loved it.
Okay, so I'm actually here. So before we get to your first jam, I'll play that Rewinder and just make a point. And again, this is not a Blair versus Rob thing because I love both of these musical geniuses equally. You know this. I'm a big fan. I mean, no one likes Rob Pruss more than I do. Would you agree?
I guess, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Well, except for Liza Fromer, maybe, but yeah.
Well, I can't compete with Liza. I chatted with Liza the other day. Revealed to her that there was some Liza chat in Rewinder yesterday. But let's listen to this.
Rewinder with the Packham, who is also known as Blair, and Mikey Boom Boom too. Rewinder, looking back and yippee hopping on the air for the quarterly review. Rewinder, skiddly boddly doodly. Rewinder, bibbidi bobbidi noodly. Rewinder with the Packham, who is also known as Blair, and Mikey Boom Boom too.
Mikey Boom Boom too.
I didn't. I have to say, he did not write that melody. Did you know he stole that from Snow?
No, that's not an original. That's not a Blair Packham original.
So, I don't want to give Blair too much credit, except that the words you hear, he wrote them, of course, but then he sang them. This is Blair Packham singing.
Yeah.
And Rob's lyrics, and I appreciate his efforts, of course, in the jingle for Yes, We Are Open, that's performed by AI. So my issue is the fact that it's being sung by, an algorithm, bots. I would rather hear Rob Bruce. I've heard him sing backgrounds for Honeymoon Suite. I'd rather hear him sing it, even if it's a little off key or not perfect, than hear AI sing it.
That's fair. But I mean, again, I think it wasn't without effort, and Rob was thinking of me when he made it. And so I appreciate the effort and time he put into creating the prompt that spit out that gem.
Okay, ever the diplomat, and this is why you win the awards. I think I'm too polarizing.
Maybe you are, yeah. You're so controversial that only CNN will have you.
I've told you many times, you're a nicer guy than I am. That's why people want to cuddle you.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna kick out. I see here I've got 8 jams loaded up. How many episodes were there in season 8?
You should have 9 jams.
I was building up the fact there's a bonus jam, and that's going to be at the end, right?
8 episodes in season 8. For sure, there's 8 episodes in every season of Yes, We Are Open.
So we have a lot to talk about, including something happening Saturday night. I will shout out the fact that I'm wearing my produce stand
Appreciate it.
T-shirt because you host the definitive Shorzy/Letterkenny podcast.
That is correct.
And it also wins awards.
No, it's been nominated for a few.
Honestly,
but no,
I honestly thought it had won awards.
Haven't won. I mean, it's a much more competitive category. We are competing with some American, from all over the world, so it's a little tougher. But we have gotten some nominations, so that's been fun.
Okay, maybe you'll win a Juno.
Yeah, maybe, or a Canadian Screen Award. I'm sure they'll add a topic for that.
So, are you ready, Al Grego? And again, between these songs, as we talk about season 8 of Yes, We Are Open, I've got some personal questions for you. So be ready. But are you ready to kick out the jams?
Let's do it.
Well, I started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone, and the sun went down as I crossed the hill, and the town lit up. The world got still. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. Well, the good old days.
Did you pull a Nate Fielder? Did you learn to fly? What's going on here? But before you answer that, don't say a word, actually. You gave me a look like you wanted to crack open your Great Lakes beer, and I shot you my evil eye. Did you
I know.
get it? I said, Al, don't you dare. But
It's
do that
really
on the mic.
hot outside, but here we go.
Okay, you've got a premium lager from Great Lakes Brewery. I'm going to crack open my my Sunnyside Session IPA.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, man. Love seeing you, Al Grego. So talk to us. Why the late, great Tom Petty learning to fly?
Well, first, a few things about the song. Obviously, it's a very well-known song. It's his best performing song on the album rock charts, actually.
You know what? Mind blow.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, because he's had so many hits.
How could it not be waiting, okay? Remember?
I don't know.
Homer waiting to get his gun. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay.
Released June 17, 1991 from the album The Wide Open. It was their 8th studio album. Number 1 on the Billboard Hot Album charts, 6 weeks on that, 28 on Billboard Hot 100. And I think 46 on the UK singles and up to number 5 in Canada. So it was a big jam for Tom Petty.
may I issue a correction? So yesterday
Go for
on
it.
Rewinder, which people can find in the Toronto Mike podcast feed, I erroneously credited Tom Cochrane with a Billboard Hot 100 #1 single for Life is a Highway. In fact, that song went to #1 in Canada, but peaked at #6 on the Billboard Hot 100, and I regret the error. So VP, you don't have to call me out on that mistake on FOTM Cast. I've corrected the error.
It's the Mandela effect, isn't it? Because I thought it was the same thing. I thought actually Rascal Flatts made it to #1 with it in the U.S., but I guess we were all wrong on that one. Anyway, the reason I'm kicking out "Learn to Fly" by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is my first stop on season 8 was, first of all, I went to Regina. I know you mentioned that many times throughout your...
I actually enjoyed thoroughly talking to guests about their trips to Regina. It was a fun part of the show for the last couple of months.
Yeah, and I enjoyed my stop in Regina. My first stop was at the Prairie Flying Service, and I interviewed Kevin Toth, not Toth, even though it's spelled the same.
Oh, did I say Toth? Probably.
You probably did, but that's okay. It's spelled the same, and I actually asked him point blank, it's not Toth because it's spelled the same, and he said, no, it's always been Toth.
Okay.
He and his son, Jonah, and he's been running the Prairie Flying Service since the early 80s, but it was founded in 1946 by 4 World War II veteran pilots. And that kind of kicked off the aviation industry in Regina. So it was a pretty good story there, a long-standing history with that business.
And there's so many good flying songs. Like you came up with a great one, of course, Tom Petty. I heard, I think it was maybe this past weekend that Mike Campbell, not FOTM Mike Campbell, but the guitarist for the Tom Petty's band there, was in town, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
A little fun fact for you there. But did you have difficulty choosing which flying song?
Too many.
Foo Fighters? There's so many. Or
Learn to Fly, the Royal Pains play that one all the time by the Foo Fighters. Leaving on a Jet Plane, I guess. I mean, there's so many. Airplane by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, it goes on and on.
But you could have kicked out the Chantal Kreviazek version of Leaving on a Jet Plane.
I could have, and that would have been germane to this podcast, but I didn't. I like.
And you're winning the awards. So how does it get determined that Moneris is going to send you, Al Grego, to Regina, Saskatchewan?
I drew the shortest straw. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's the podcast. I'm the podcast guy at Moneris, and so I pick the destinations. And actually, as of last season, I'd already hit every single province. So this is actually my second lap around the country. Last time I went to Saskatoon. So this time I hit Regina, and
which is the capital city.
Yeah, correct.
Do you ever pinch yourself that you have a job where not only do you get to produce compelling content for award-winning podcasts, but you get to see this beautiful country?
Absolutely.
Can I pinch you?
Yeah, I tell people all the time I'd be an asshole if I complained about my job. I love what I do, and honored that I get to do it for Moneris, for sure.
Well, I'm honored to reward you with a palma pasta lasagna.
Yes. I can't wait. If I came home without this box, my family would disown me.
So we changed things. So that box is merely symbolic now. The box lives in the studio, so you can see something palma pasta. But now we have these like retail packages. I guess they sell palma pasta lasagna in some Longos. So now they have these like packaged retail lasagnas, and you're going to take home one of those. And I know your family loves the palma pasta lasagna. Will you and your family be at TMLX 19 on June 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Great Lakes Brewery, where Palma Pasta will be feeding everybody?
I will be there with bells on.
Just you?
Just me. Sorry.
Why can't I get more Gregos?
It's midweek and evening. And
midweek. It's Thursday.
Yeah, my wife works and my kids have school still. So, but it'll be me. I'll be there for sure with bells on. Can't wait to meet up with all the other FOTMs that night.
Okay, and after we kick out another song and talk about episode 2, I will tell the listenership that I won't have to wait until June 26th to see the cuddly one again. That's called a teaser, Al, and I should win some awards for that.
Yeah, you're good at those.
Here we go.
Do you have the time?
Love this song.
To listen to me whine.
I believe this is Monica's favorite, no?
She does love the album Dookie, and she does love this song.
I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. So does my mind play tricks on me? It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just up? I went to a shrink.
You're taking me right back to 1994 when I was spinning Dookie over and over again. Just love this album.
Now you call it Dookie. I call it Dookie. What's
I mispronounce words. That's
I don't
like
know
my trademark.
Who's saying it right or not? This is the one song I play on bass with the Royal Pains, so it's near and dear to my heart. We learned this song for Monica actually because I remember.
Oh my God!
Yeah, when we played. Nearby.
Yeah.
And I heard that she was a Green Day fan. We was like, we got to learn a Green Day song. So that
was a great night. I saw Lenny and FOTM there. I saw, I believe, James Edgar was there. Did I see Leave Thumpka and Juan there?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, was Moose Grumpy there? And maybe even the grumpy part of Moose Grumpy?
Mr. Grumpy? Yeah.
Mr. Grumpy. So tell us why we're kicking out Basket Case, and then I'm going to ask you about the Royal Pains.
Sure. So second stop was at a place called Basket Cases, and believe it or not, was not named after the song. It actually predates the song by, I think, about 10 years, because it was started in 84, 85.
Well, maybe the song was named after this place in Regina.
Well, it had to have been, yes. So I met up with Ashley Donald, and she's the owner, and her daughter was there too. And they weren't the original owners. They bought it after being happy customers of the company. When they heard the company, or when she heard the business was up for sale, she bought it, and she's been running it now for a few years, and it's a great business, and I had a lot of fun visiting with her. And they're in a really cool part of Regina called the Warehouse District, which right now it's kind of a up and coming place in Regina, similar to, I guess, maybe the distillery district here. A lot of red brick buildings and warehouses and stuff. Anyway, being revamped now, and really cool place in Regina to visit.
How does it feel, El Grego, that any minute now you'll be turning the big 5-0?
In over 24 hours, yes. On Friday, I'll be turning 50. Yes, it's. I'm not gonna lie,
but that's any minute now.
I don't. Not looking forward to it, but whatever. It is what it is.
Well, I need to know because, as you know, 1 year ago I went through this exact experience.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel?
I don't remember feeling anything other than it's kind of an excuse to have a party. Like, it felt like, okay, this is cool. We can kind of go big on this one. I don't remember fearing my 50s. Like, I think my brain realizes there's you either age at the rate which time travels or you die. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. Al Grego, you've got a measuring tape there, buddy. Ridley Funeral Home. They don't have an award yet, but one day Brad Jones will win an award for Life's Undertaking because it's a great podcast. But so you're feeling like the weight of this round number, 50?
I mean, I don't think anybody enjoys getting older, although we're all privileged to age for sure. You were surrounded by 90 of your closest friends last year, if I remember correctly, and it was a great time. And yeah, I'm kind of hoping to do the same this year. I don't know about 90, but we're going to have a
But
nice
that's what I want to talk to you about, because
sure.
I have in my Google Calendar, I have I'm visiting. Is this a public party? I don't even know. Is it?
I posted it. It's a public place. Anyone can come if they want.
So tell us where and when we can see you as you celebrate your 50th.
Sure. It's Trinity Common, and that's a cool kind of a local pub in Kensington Market on Augusta Avenue. And I'm going to be there, and 3 live bands are playing that night, 2 of which are mine. One is a bunch of buddies of mine, well, but my buddy Stu from the Royal Pains is the guitarist for Those Handsome Hooligans, so they're going to be playing.
I've seen Stu at a couple of TMLX events.
Yeah, so Stu's playing with his band, the Hooligans, and then the Weekends are playing, which is one of my bands, and the Royal Pains are closing out the night.
What is the difference? Obviously, the personnel is different, but is there a difference in what kind of songs you'll sing as the Weekends versus the Royal Pains?
Generally, but unfortunately, my co-lead singer, who's a woman, is not going to be there for the Weekends. So with the Weekends, there's 2 singers.
What's she got going on?
She's going to the F1 race in Montreal. She goes every year. So
it's your 50th, man.
I know, but she goes every year. So she said, sorry, can't make it. And I understand, don't fuck with tradition. That's
See,
what they
you
say
are
in
a nicer guy. I'd be pissed.
No, and that's fine because, and so that does change what we would normally play that night, but it just means double time for me. And
So what time does the Weekends start playing, and then what time does the Royal Pains start playing?
The Weekends will probably start around 11. First band's at 10. Second Weekends around 11, quarter after. And then the Royal Pains will be on after midnight.
Well, this works out like brilliantly for yours truly, Al. And at the end of the day, that's what matters most. I'm going to be at the Danforth Music Hall to see The Watchmen. And then when that show ends, I'll be far east of you in Kensington Market there. I've got to come west to New Toronto. So I'm literally going to, bike to you and come on in and wish you a happy 50th and catch some Weekends or maybe some Royal Pains or maybe both. And I can't wait. That's Saturday night.
Yeah, invite the guys from The Watchmen to come too. It'd be fun to have them.
All four are FOTMs.
I know.
So I can make that happen. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm going to bring some other FOTMs. Here's confirmed FOTMs who I'm going to drag to see you include. People think they're arch nemesis, but I think they're actually best buds. The Langer, Michael Lang, and the great VP of Sales.
Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. And they've been to other Royal Pains shows, and so
maybe Michael Lang was at that event near me. I'm trying to remember who was there, but
it's possible.
Okay. Well, happy birthday to you, Al Grego. And let's get to a third jam.
If I was low, would you call me then? If you got a man, would we still be friends? Fuck around and find out.
Swear word in there.
This is stress I can live without. Share my clothes, pay when we outside. I'm not your man, so why do I provide? You only want me when you need me. Hey, you call me crying and I'll be there. There's so much bullshit you put me through, and I told my hairdresser all about you. She says, Sky, you're too kind.
What a voice. Okay, Sky Newman.
That's right. I'm so excited to bring this one here because I know often my picks are old, show my age, and I don't often get to bring anything contemporary. Well, this is about as new as it gets. This was just released this year, I think March of 2025. Her name is Sky Newman. This is like her debut single, and she's got a great, unique voice. She lists people like, no surprise here. Amy Winehouse is an inspiration. Adele, Bob Marley, and Eminem. She's great. It's peaked so far, 15 on the UK charts. I don't even think.
But what does charts matter in 2025?
Well, it matters if she's getting people's attention, and I think she sounds great. She doesn't sound cookie cutter like a lot of the other singers out there, and I dug it. When I did a search because I needed something about hairdressers or hair or something.
Long, beautiful hair.
Yeah, well, I could have done that, but again, that would have shown my age. So I'm glad I was able to bring...
Well, that's before your time.
Yeah, I'm glad I could, introduce folks, hopefully, to a new talent, and I think she's very talented.
Yeah, very talented. It's called Hairdresser. Mm-hmm. Her name is Sky Newman, and on Friday, I have a guest named Sky.
Oh, is she coming? Sky Wallace? She come back?
Who's got new music, and she's preggers, and she's kind of leaning into this, like, I don't want to misquote her, like a trashy pregger, sexy face, like her era, like she's Taylor Swift or something here.
All right.
But she's leaning into this, and we're going to talk about all of this. Sky Wallace, but Sky Newman, Hairdresser. Why this jam?
Because I visited Bass Studio and Amanda Ray, who's the owner of Bass Studio in Regina, and got to tell her story of how this is her kind of second kick at the can at starting her own business. The first time she started with partners and it didn't quite work out, and then she learned from those mistakes, and this time she's doing it herself and having a really successful time at it. So that's Amanda Ray from Base Studio in Regina.
Now, I know I've been talking about season 8 of Yes, We Are Open for a couple of months now, but they really are inspiring stories. Like, I like how you capture these stories and you just bring it home, Al. Like, these awards are earned.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have fun doing it. And I just really enjoy spending time with these business owners. And I think they all have something to share. Mike, you're an entrepreneur. Hearing the stories of other entrepreneurs you can learn from them, or you can just be inspired by them. I think they're great stories.
They're great stories. I'm going to give some love to a couple of great musicians we lost this very week. But first, let's get into the throwback machine, the Wayback Machine here.
Step by step, woo.
This brings me back, Al.
We all fall down like toy soldiers.
Listen to that production.
So lush.
It wasn't my intention to mislead you. It never should have been this way. What can I say? It's true, I did extend the invitation. I never knew how long you'd stay. When you hear temptation call, it's your heart that takes the fall. Won't you come and play with me?
Step by step, heart to heart.
Let my night we all fall down like toy soldiers. In my dream, turning apart, never win. The battle wages on like toy soldiers.
Toy Soldiers, Al Grego.
By Martika, sorry.
Martika.
Yeah, from 1989. Did you know? This might be a mind blower, maybe not.
I'll let you know.
She was an actress first,
I did not know that.
and she was on this little show called Kids Incorporated.
I remember Kids Incorporated.
If you I went on YouTube today and I watched the opening theme going, oh my God. And that was her. She was one of the main actresses in that. She went by Martika Marrero at the time.
You know, I did not... Al, you're blowing my mind right now. This is how it works.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then she went on with her music career. This is considered a one-hit wonder. And actually, I think it ranked... where I've got the ranking here somewhere. Number 67 in VH1's 100 Greatest One-Hit Wonders of the 80s. That's very specific. But did you know... you wanted to hear who the top 3 were? One-hit wonders of the 80s?
Can I take a guess?
Go for it, yeah.
Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners.
That's number 1.
That's a key one. Okay, 80s one-hit wonder. Somebody's Watching Me, Rockwell.
No. The second one, I'm surprised. I thought they had more than one hit.
Well, tell me it then, and I'll tell you if they did.
Flock of Seagulls, I Ran So Far Away. I
So,
feel like they
I
had more
think
than one hit.
You have to, whenever you do these, and I love these kind of lists and contests, but you have to establish your criteria, like what is a one-hit wonder. I'd say for the great unwashed, the average FOTM listening right now, they can only name one Flock of Seagulls song.
All right, that's fair.
Can you name a second?
I feel like maybe not name it because I'm horrible with names, but I feel like I've heard other Flock of Seagulls songs. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confusing them with Platinum Blonde, actually, which I would have.
Well, they got lots of hits.
Yeah, I know.
In this country,
Yeah,
anyway.
for sure. And then number 3 is the stereotypical, prototypical one-hit wonder.
Well, Hey Mickey.
No, but that isn't, I think, in the top 10. But think 1980s.
The Buggles. Video Killed the Radio Star.
No, think black and white drawing video.
Oh, yes. Aha, Take On Me.
Yes.
This one's famous because in North America, that you can argue strongly that they are one-hit wonders, but you will piss off a Brit.
Yes.
Or anyone in Europe, actually, where you'll learn about how many hits they had in Europe.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, he's got Parkinson's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I read that recently, too. Yeah.
He can hit that high note still. It's unbelievable. That song is great.
So now, as an actress, Martika was also on an episode of Silver Spoons and Hardcastle and McCormick. Yeah, in the 80s, she did the rounds. But yeah.
I love Silver Spoons.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman.
That's right.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of.
Oh,
and John
no, not
Houseman.
Jason. Well,
yeah, he was like a friend.
Oh, he was a friend, right?
He was a
Not
friend.
yeah,
no,
not
not Ricky Schroeder.
yeah.
But Grandpa was John. What's his name? John Houseman. John House. The guy. The paper chase guy who you saw make a cameo in Scrooged and The Naked Gun.
Oh, yeah.
John Houseman, I think was his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he
but-
played the grandpa.
Anyway, the reason I'm kicking
And this
out-
song, of course, very famous. Even my 11-year-old knows it because Eminem sampled it with a big hit.
That is correct. I'm kicking out Toy Soldiers because
I just want to talk about the music. Okay.
Episode 4. I know, me too. But anyway, yeah, this is a fun one, though. Episode 4, I went to a toy store called Zippity Zoom Toys, and I interviewed Tracy Boucher and her daughter, DJ, and they're the owners in Regina, Saskatchewan. And they had a great story. I mean, Tracy started the business when she was pregnant, and it's a crazy story of how she did that and was able to juggle, raising a baby and having a toy store and stuff. It's
Not
a
easy.
really cool story. Yeah. And now they're expanding too. They're in the same plaza, like a bunch of units down. They've started a hobby store that's also branded Zippity Zoom, and it's more for like the older kids, the collectibles and the arts and crafts and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
No, very cool. And another great story on season 8 of Yes, We Are Open. Did you, Al Grego? I was trying to think how many TMLX events you've been to of the 18 we've held so far. It's a high number. How many have you missed?
I've lost count. I feel like, it'd be easier to count which I've missed, and maybe 2, only because you kind of threw in an official one. That's not fair, but I wouldn't have been able to make.
Well, I was trying to mess up Langer's perfect record, and I failed.
Yeah, because Langer doesn't have anything else better to do, I guess. But
Oh,
damn him.
well, you'll see him on Saturday, so he can punch you in the nose on your 50th birthday there.
perfect.
But I had TMLX 18 at Christie Pitts for the home opener of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball, and I have for you, Al Grego, a book on the history of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. It's a great experience. No ticket required. You come out to Christie Pitts, watch high caliber baseball. You can see Ayami Sato.
Oh, look at that. First page, I opened it to Rich Butler.
Also an FOTM, Rich Butler, the brother of the current manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Rob Butler. Amazing.
Yeah, this is great. I've heard about this book a lot, and now I'm glad to have
You
it.
finally got a copy.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see footage of my first pitch?
I did, and I'm going to echo, I forget who was it who said, but great form. You did way better than I would have done, so well done. Kudos.
Thank you. And kudos to Morgan for the great videographer effort in capturing all of that. Okay. Are you going to take the family to Regina for a pleasure trip? Like, did you see enough of Regina to say, hey, I want to come back here with the fam?
I mean, we've always talked about one day driving out west and hitting some of the spots that I have that I visited. I'd love to do that one day. We'll see. My son's starting university in September.
You know what? In my mind, maybe because when you first started coming to TMLX events and I met your boy and girl, I remember a little note from Veronica. They're like frozen as that size in my head. Like, it's wild when they aren't your kids and you step away for a few years.
Yeah.
And like next time you see him, the guy's got a mustache.
Oh, he's 6'7", towering over me, and deeper voice than I have, and drummer now too, and doing great. Yeah.
Well, he had a deeper voice than me when I met him several years
low
ago.
bar.
You know what, Al? All I can say is kids, right?
Right.
Kids.
Yes. Great transition. That's why you're the pro.
I love this song.
Take a while to get to the chorus.
Well, everybody knows MGMT's Kids still sounds great in the headphones.
Sounds amazing, yes.
And not one-hit wonders. I know there's a couple of other big hits from MGMT.
Yeah, so MGMT or management, if you will.
So tell me what it is, because forever I've been calling them MGMT.
I think they started off as the management, but then went to MGMT because there was another band called Management.
Like Death from Above 1979.
Yeah, exactly.
Or The English Beat.
Yeah, that's
Or
right.
Bush X.
Or Bush X.
Hey, quick Bush X, and I want to hear why you're playing Kids, but I loved 16 Stone. Like, I loved the first single, Little Things, or whatever I heard first. Everything Zen. I love that album. Come Down. I still love like Glycerin. I love that album.
Yeah.
But I bought it early when they first came out in Canada. It said Bush, and I bought it early, so mine said Bush. Then they had that other Canadian band named Bush, and they had to change their CD to say Bush X. And I remember feeling kind of proud or something. I felt good that, oh, I have the OG Bush.
Yeah.
Everyone else is buying Bush X. But then they reissued it as Bush again because they worked out this issue with the other Bush. And then I felt like, oh, it would be better to have Bush X. That's this all happened now. Do I overthink this stuff?
You probably do, but kind of in the same vein, the Black Crowes put out a CD called, I think it was called Amorica.
Right.
And the cover, the original cover had Bush, and then the re-release cover didn't. Do you recall this?
Was it Walmart or somebody wouldn't sell it? I do remember this.
So it's kind of, related,
It's funny how you're talking about Bush. And we're talking about Bush.
Anyway, we won't go too far.
Does Minoris is okay? Okay.
No, let's not do that. All right. So management, MGMT. The only thing I'll say about this is a great banging track, obviously. The official video was kind of problematic. It features like a toddler being like traumatized by like monsters. Joanna Newsom's in the video. She plays the baby's mom. Anyway, for a while there's a lot of criticism because of the video. If you watch, and I watched the video going, yeah, that kid's scared out of his mind, and he's too old to be acting. So it was kind of interesting. That
is interesting.
Watching that video. So I'm playing Kids by MGMT because I visited Creative Kids Saskatchewan. And they're an amazing charitable organization that helps pay for children in Saskatchewan to participate in the arts.
That's amazing, man.
In music and theater, visual arts, and they do amazing work, and they raise a ton of money, and they help kids all over the province of Saskatchewan, which is vast. I mean, if you think about how big the province is, and everyone's so far away from each other, they do amazing work. And I had a really great morning spent with them talking about all the great work that they do.
I bet you everybody in Regina loves El Grego.
Well, I don't know about that.
Right?
I had fun. I had fun everywhere I go. I make the best out of every place I go to.
Well, that's the secret to success. Shout out to Michael J. Fox. They used Yellow's "Oh Yeah" in Secret to My Success, and I remember my mind being mildly blown by this amazing song I was hearing. Oh yeah.
Wasn't that in Ferris Bueller's?
I think it was in both. Like, it was definitely in Secret to My Success.
Oh, okay.
But then
definitely in Ferris Bueller's Day Off too.
Well, then what happened was I started hearing it everywhere. Like, I distinctly remember, like, oh my God, every movie uses "Oh Yeah" by Yellow, I think it was.
And it's a perfect way to say, hey, this story takes place in the 80s.
Well, all these movies were from the 80s, but without a doubt here, I personally, if I'm making a movie today about the 80s, I'm going to open my wallet and I'm going to pay for Romantic Traffic, whatever it costs me, because I feel like Rob Proust deserves it.
Yes.
Okay, good effort, and good on you for choosing this song, this wonderful song, instead of Foster the People's Pumped Up Kicks, which has a similar vibe, but that's like about a school shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the messaging to this one's much happier, but it's not about a school shooting.
I never considered. It just seems like that you hear kids playing, and maybe I need to analyze those lyrics. But another great choice. I have a question for you about a gentleman who made his Toronto Mike debut earlier this year, and he hit it out of the park. It's one of the great episodes. But his name is Alan Gregg. Okay? So Alan is spelt the same way you spell it.
Yeah, which is not common.
No.
It's usually ALAN or ALLEN.
Usually I see ALAN for Alan, and this is ALLAN.
Yeah.
And that's not common. That's more like the apple juice
right
by the kids would be Alan's or something.
And that's usually a surname. That's EN is usually a surname.
Right. But then Alan Gregg is GRE and then two G's. So
right.
GREGG. And you're Grego. Like the fact that you're one character away, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to spell out my name, but had a stutter. But anyway.
Well, he was here first.
I know.
You're not even 50, young man.
And they were great episodes, too. I mean, I can't come near what that man's accomplished. So kudos to Alan Gregg.
Kudos to Alan Gregg, who was kind of brutally honest about his breakup with the tragical hip, and it was really neat. And now that I remember, he promised to come back with Jake Gold, and I haven't booked that yet. So I'm going to get on that. But I'm glad you're going to take us back. I'm looking at, who do I see here? I see George the Animal Steel to my right.
Oh,
a gift from Stu Stone, okay?
Yes, I thought about Stu when I kicked out this jam.
Stu Stone. I did tease earlier. I'm good at teasing and I never get to it. I did tease earlier. I wanted to shout out a couple of like musical legends we lost this week. You said Stu Stone, or maybe I said Stu Stone, and then I remembered the one that I want to do this. I'm going to do it after this song. Yeah. But I'm looking at my Andre the Giant mug, and now I want to play...
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
And there are no lyrics to this, so...
Is that a cowbell?
Yes. Definitely a cowbell, not a gong.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Okay, talk to me. This is the Bushwhackers theme song.
That's right. Composed by Jim Johnson, who's an American composer. Over 3 decades, he composed entrance music for WWE wrestlers and superstars. He's done entrance music for The Undertaker, Steve Austin, The Rock, and of course, these guys, the Bushwhackers, who are the tag team combination from, I don't know, I guess late 80s, early 90s, maybe?
I think you're right.
Yeah. He's also collaborated with a lot of mainstream musicians like Disturbed, Kid Rock, Ice-T, Run DMC, Mariah Carey, and FOTM adjacent Our Lady Peace. Again, for the WWE.
Oh, you don't have to say adjacent because it's an FOTM band because Jeremy Taggart has been in the bass.
Oh, that's right. Taggart was here.
How dare you?
Because I'm waiting. I was just like, he hasn't, because I know you've teased that you're going to have Rain on, but you haven't had him.
That's because Chantel said she's gonna bring him over.
Yeah.
But I got in trouble with the Jan Arden thing, so I'm gun shy now.
You have to have Rain on. Maybe bring him on Saturday. I'm going to be singing one of his songs. Anyway, so I'm kicking this one out because I visited Bushwhacker Brew Pub. Sorry.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because you're drinking another brew pub, but you can't get Bushwhacker in Ontario.
No,
right?
you can't. No, you can't get it outside of their restaurant, their brew pub, because they only make it for. They don't even use cans. They use plastic bottles, which I'd never heard of before.
See, way back in the day, Great Lakes did that.
Yeah.
We're going back with this one to the 90s, but they used to have plastic bottles too.
Yeah, and it was great stuff. I had their red, I forget what it's called, but it's a red ale there, and really enjoyed it. They have a bunch of different things there. Big place, live music, great neighborhood.
You have to go to the brew pub to drink
it. Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah. They bottle it there by hand. There's like no machinery or anything. It's all like a family-run, independent, small brew pub. From Regina, and I spoke to Grant Frew there. He's like their marketing manager, and great story because that story goes back. Oh, I don't have the year here, but it goes back many decades from when they started.
Breaking news on the live stream that the VP of sales says his grandfather was Allan, Allan.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to pull a Jane Siberry, but that's not that interesting. Right?
I'm wondering because I was named after a Dutch fisherman, apparently. So maybe that's a Dutch way of spelling it. And so is his grandfather Dutch inheritance? Or
well,
Dutch?
Let us know, VP, if your grandfather is Dutch. No one called him Allan. Apparently, everybody called him Midge.
Midge.
And I don't know if that's because of FOTM mid-year. It probably predates that. But no one called him Allan. So I want to ask you about another great podcast. Wonder if you're listening to Building Toronto Skyline. Have you heard this thing, Al Grego?
I've heard of it, yeah.
The great Nick Iones is the host. We have 2 episodes recording Friday morning. And Al does, you do a great job, but you don't have anything to do with this podcast. But the great Nick Iones does a great job. And I love that, much like the wonderful people at Monaris, Nick Iones stepped up to help fuel the real talk over here, and we appreciate Nick on this program. I have a very important question for you after this song. You ready?
Go for it.
In Napoli, is king. When boy meets girl, here's what they say. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella.
Dean's half in the bag when he's singing this.
Hearts will play tippy-tippy-tay,
His default setting.
tippy-tippy-tay, like a guitarandella.
If I were an award-winning podcaster, and I'm most definitely not, I would do my Palma Pasta shout-out right now. Right?
Yeah, go for it.
No, I did it already. Tell us, I know why, but I want to hear from you. Al Grego, why are we playing this Dean Martin standard?
Because episode 7 of season 8, I visited Jim Baton from Tumbler's Pizza. Now, before I went to Regina, I started looking, doing my research. What's Regina known for? When I go there, I want to make sure I explore or, whatever,
Bread, I would guess.
It's known for, a bunch of different things. But one thing that caught my eye was Regina-style pizza. I'm like, what the hell is that? I had no idea what Regina-style pizza. I read a little bit more into it. And then I said, okay, well, is there a Moneris merchant that specializes in that? And luckily, there is the Moneris merchant that specializes in that. Tumbler's Pizza. Jim has a great story. He's a really cool character, too. A lot of fun to talk to him. And he made me a Regina-style pizza himself. And, oh, boy, was it delicious. Like, if ever you find yourself in Regina, you need to try this. It is worth it. And I'm not even saying that because he didn't pay me. It was so good.
No, it sounds amazing. Like it's worth the drive to Regina. Would you say that?
Yes.
Okay. So what about that sentence you wrote in the description about, I can't remember what you wrote, 1,400 locations or something like that?
Yeah, so I think you thought of it as there's 1,400 pizza places, but no, his pizza is sold in 1,400 locations because his kitchen is a wholesale. So they make it, freeze it, and send it out to grocery stores.
So there's 1,400 unique places you can buy this Regina-style pizza.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking that it was like a chain with 1,400 locations.
No.
And I never, I'm from Toronto again.
Yeah.
I didn't pause until people were like,
it
was Joey Serlin was the one. He's from Winnipeg, and he knows Regina. And he's like, there's nothing with 1,400 locations in Regina. And then I realized maybe I'm misunderstanding the sentence here. But
so sitting in his office behind me, there was a map with pins where everywhere his pizza was being sold.
So it's like grocery stores,
superstores, and any different places like that. But of course, if you want it fresh, I would highly recommend you order it straight from him, fresh out of the oven. So good. I could only have a slice and a half, and I came hungry because he asked me. He said, "Make sure you come hungry." I
would be good for 3 slices, no matter.
I don't know about this, Mike, because what makes it Regina style?
That's my question. What makes it Regina?
So I'm not a big fan of deep dish pizza, like
Chicago.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chicago style pizza. And that Regina style looks like it's a deep dish, but Chicago style is mostly dough. Regina style is all meat, and having worked in pizza, I worked 7 years in different pizzerias and stuff like that. I know, I
didn't know that.
The different pizza chains that I worked.
Did you work at Mother's?
No, but I worked at Pizzaville, 2 for $1, double, Little Caesars. I was assistant manager at Little Caesars for many years. So, knowing how much, for example, cheese is gold to a pizzeria, you have to be very stingy with you. At the end of the night, you're counting how much you have left over because you can't waste cheese. All your toppings are weighed and counted and stuff like. I knew how many pieces of pepperoni went on a Little Caesars pizza. Tumblers, he was just putting it on by the handful, and it was like 6 different kinds of meat, and I'm not even exaggerating. And then the amount of cheese he threw on that thing, it was so thick. But it was so delicious.
Honestly,
it was so good.
You're making me want to hop in the Mazda 3. And how long would it take me to drive to Regina?
Quite a while. How long does it take you to get out of Ontario and then you got to cross? Yeah, no, it'll take you.
It's a long ride.
Yeah, it's a long
drive. But you flew there, right?
I flew there.
Oh, must be nice. It must be nice here. By the way, I have an answer from the VP regarding his grandfather, Alan. Not Dutch. Here, I'm going to read what he wrote. He wrote, bog standard descendant of English folk.
Oh, interesting.
So there you go.
Okay.
Alan, Allan. Shout out to Alan Gregg and Alan Grego, who turns 50 years old in 2 days. That's exciting. You're catching up to me. We'll be the same age for a couple of weeks. That's also exciting. You're a 75 baby here. You know what? Let's shout out the two musical geniuses we lost. I think these two guys gave us so much great music, very different musicians, but both geniuses in their own right. And I can't believe we lost Sly Stone and Brian Wilson in the same week.
Yeah, that one today hit hard. Yeah, when I heard that one. But Sly Stone for sure. Both of them are huge, musical monsters. But I mean, if you think about any album that might rival a Beatles, I'm having a hard time.
How much Great Lakes have you had, Al?
Any album that might rival a Beatles record right now would be Pet Sounds, and that's all Brian Wilson, right? That's
Good Vibrations, which I believe was influenced by Phil Spector's wall of sound technique on the Righteous Brothers' You've Lost That Loving Feeling, which is still a monster radio hit. Like, it's probably playing right now on a couple of Toronto stations. Who knows? But that inspired.
Sgt.
He was
Pepper's.
he was very inspired by Phil Spector jams, right? Because that Ronettes song was his favorite song of all time, "Be My Baby," and then he went on and did "Don't Worry Baby," and he wanted the Ronettes to record "Don't Worry Baby," but Phil Spector had a rule where he wasn't going to have Ronettes record anything that Phil Spector didn't write. So the Beach Boys recorded it, and not just written by Brian Wilson and produced by Brian Wilson, but he played all the instrumental parts on "Don't Worry Baby."
Yeah. And I mean, arguably, God Only Knows, one of the greatest songs ever written and recorded. And one of my favorites I've got a daughter now in musical theater, and she just finished doing a presentation of Little Mermaid, is "Kiss the Girl." But Brian Wilson's version of it is really good.
I don't even know this.
Well, I think it's his. I think he wrote. Well, it's a Beatles song. I'm assuming it was a Brian Wilson song, but it's a good song. Not the version in the movie, but the Beach Boys version.
Yeah. So absolute legend, of course. His battles with mental illness are legendary and much discussed. There's an FOTM jam called Brian Wilson talking about Dr. Landy and his grip on Brian Wilson and his period in bed and everything. And I did read a couple years ago, I read that Brian was battling some form of dementia. So it's not a shock that he's gone, but what a loss. So Sly Stone and Brian Wilson in the same week. The world has less musical genius on it today than it did when this week began.
Agreed.
Speaking of musical genius,
dedicate one to the ladies.
this is for Randy Drusen.
Need something to keep you cool. Now sometimes your babe needs something to keep you cool. Better look out now, though. Dave's got something for you. Tell you what it is. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. On my mind, I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. See, now all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Hold on a second, baby. I gotta put my banana in Dixie cups. All flavors and push-ups too. I'm your ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by. See, now all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Hold on one more. Well, I'm usually
Van Halen.
just about 11 o'clock.
Ice Cream Man from 1976. You knew this was a cover, though, right?
You want to hear a funny, small world, freaky story, which is the most recent episode of Martin Popoff. He's an FOTM. Martin Popoff has a podcast called 5 Songs or something.
Yeah.
And he talks, his premise for his most recent episode, as we speak now, on Wednesday, June 11th at 4:30 p.m. His premise is that it's not grunge that killed heavy metal, it's covers that killed heavy metal. And he kind of tries to prove his point that heavy metal kind of, from Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise, and he uses as an example, Van Halen had a bunch of covers. You know, You Really Got Me, this one, there's a couple of other ones. Speaking of Brian Wilson, David Lee Roth would go solo and cover California Girls. Bitty bop, I ain't got nobody or whatever. But yeah, so I did know this was a cover, but I have no idea who performed the original version of Ice Cream Man.
His name was John Brim, recorded in 1953. Like, it was a hardcore, like, blues. Bitty bop. Sure. You can hear it. Yeah, it's totally in the how it begins anyway. Anyway, so this is the first time I'm bringing you a jam that wasn't picked by me, but picked by the person I interviewed. Because
you should always do that.
I should. I'd never thought of it until well, because what happened was I was visiting with Brenda and Rick Coletta, the owners of the Fries Limit food truck and the Parlor, and they're up in Thornton, Ontario, just outside Barrie. And I had a great time with them. Amazing business, and by the way, the food was really good. The poutine, the hot dogs, the ice cream, all A1, and the service was amazing. And they have a really cool story. This was her retirement plan. She used to work at Lysol as a sales regional sales manager or whatever, or director maybe, and then retired and started this business and is doing really, really well. Anyway, after I spoke with her and had a great, lovely visit with her, I said, "Hey, do you know who Toronto Mike is?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to be on his."
Wait, is that true?
I 100% hand to
Look
God.
me in the eyes right now.
Yeah, I said I'm going to be on Toronto Mike in a couple of weeks.
But you think she was being polite?
Well, maybe, but I said I'm going to kick out the jams. I need to pick a song that that reflects your like thematically reflects your business. And she said, "Oh, Ice Cream Man." I didn't even ask her. She just said Ice Cream Man and she said by David Lee Roth. There is a David Lee Roth version.
But she meant Van Halen.
Maybe she meant Van Halen. Either way, I'm like, oh, okay. And I looked it up, and sure enough, that was the perfect jam to kick out for this one.
Absolutely. And it is a bit of a mind blow for a lot of listeners right now that it's a cover. I think people will think that's a Van Halen original. What are your personal thoughts, Al Grego, on the band Van Halen?
Oh, I'm a fan. I mean, who isn't? Like, they're a great band from the 80s. But I can't pick between David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar because I love both. I love both eras. I think they both were very different eras. I really enjoyed, Right Now and I can't. I'm blanking on the other songs, but that Sammy Hagar brought. But then David Lee Roth, that's classic.
Right Now,
yeah, Right Now, amazing. I loved that stuff. So
see the Van Hagar era, did nothing for me.
Oh, I loved it. No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, maybe if I'm gonna, unfortunately be down on any of the eras, it would be the Gary Sharon era, which is unfortunate because I'm now that I've seen them live, a big fan of Extreme because because my co-host on the Produce Stand was a big fan of Extreme and sold me on Nuno Betancourt being the greatest rock guitarist living today. He's not wrong, and I got to see them up at Casino Rama, and they put on an amazing show. I think it was as close to seeing Van Halen live as you could get, where you have this amazing band putting on an amazing show where the front man is the guitarist, not the singer, and he was definitely, like, Nuno Betancourt was full marks for the money.
Shout out to Nuno Betancourt and my Van Halen, maybe because I'm your age. Well, I'm a bit older, actually.
Yeah, you're much older, months older.
David Lee Roth is the singer of Van Halen. I've never been comfortable with changing lead singers without the lead singer dying.
No, I mean, but Sammy Hagar.
Name another example where the lead singer, where you still get hits with your new lead singer, but the old lead singer didn't die. Oh, I guess Genesis.
Sure, yeah, you're right.
Although he was already in the band.
Yeah.
But that would be the only example where I can think of big. Can you think of one? I'm doing this off the cuff here.
No, you're right. I mean, Genesis is probably
it's very rare for a band to change lead singers without the lead singer dying. Like AC/DC, the lead singer died.
Yeah.
And there's an example where they had more success with the new lead singer. It's very rare.
Because they had more time, too, with the new lead singer. But, and I'm not the biggest AC/DC fan. I know that's a hot take. But maybe I think you have a point there. I think Van Halen did it best because I really did enjoy those Sammy Hagar albums.
Yeah, and they had big hits.
Yeah, massive hits, and Much Music probably had a lot to do with drilling those into my brain.
And Pepsi.
Yeah, and Pepsi, right?
Crystal Pepsi, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Does it still exist?
No, I don't.
Do they have it up in Holland's Landing, Crystal Pepsi?
No, I think we're still on RC Cola or something.
Hey, I want to shout out recyclemyelectronics.ca, because even in Holland's Landing, even in Regina, even in Thornton, and what was the name of the woman who said she had heard of Toronto Mike?
Brenda.
Brenda, call me. We need to talk. This is great news here, okay? Even in Thornton, I'm big in Thornton, you know this, but you can go to recyclemyelectronics.ca and put in your postal code and find out where you can drop off old electronics, old devices, old computers, laptops, cables even, and you can find out where you can drop it off so the chemicals do not end up in our landfill. Go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. You want them to be properly recycled, and that's what they do there. So we love recyclemyelectronics.ca. Al, I don't know if listeners noticed. I know a couple mentioned they noticed. I stopped giving out wireless speakers at some point because I ran out.
Yes.
So you didn't have any at hand to deliver.
You had all the ones that left. And I asked you before this season started, Mike, how are you doing for the speakers?
Well, what did I say? I had a lot, right?
Yeah, I think you said, I think I have lots.
But I record a lot, so I think my brain didn't
prolific,
compute them.
I know. And unfortunately, it's not one of those things where I could have, quickly reordered and gotten them to you, but before this season is over. So hopefully by next season, we'll have a new stock of speakers because I think they're a great giveaway.
Should I play this bonus song before I ask the obvious question, which is where you're off to next? Like, should I play this now and then ask you?
Well, I can tell you where. Maybe we'll save that to the end there. So, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this summer I'm going to head up to Nunavut. I said that I've hit I've hit every province, so I want to hit the territories as well. And so the plan, fingers crossed, for next season is Nunavut and then also Ottawa, because I'll be up there because that's where you fly out of to get to Nunavut. So that's hopefully the plan for season 9.
That's incredible. Like what a trip that'll be for you. I think that's wild. But we do have a bonus jam here.
Think there's not a lot going on, but look closer, baby, you're so wrong. I roll my eyes back into my happy place. I'm always gonna need this sense of space, and in the ever wave under a rolling cloud, I can't hear what you say 'cause you're talking so loud.
This is an FOTM jam.
Yes, it is. Yeah. For the longest time, I for some reason I thought this was Sloan.
It has a bit of a Sloan.
It's got a bit of Sloan, yeah. And well, when I found out who it was, it made sense. So this is obviously Not a Lot Going On by Northy Valenzuela, and that's a collaboration between Craig Northy of The Odds and FOTM and Jesse Valenzuela of the Gin Blossoms. And of course, everyone knows this is the theme for Corner Gas. But yeah, the version they use in the TV show...
Don't be so sure everybody knows that.
Hopefully most people know it. The version you hear on the TV show, it's a different recording. And for some reason, I thought it was Sloan. Like forever, I thought it was Sloan.
Well, because you're hearing a lot of Trans-Canada Highwaymen, and you hear Chris Murphy's voice and Craig Northy's voice kind of mixed up in that.
It's a great song, and I love the song they end every episode with as well, which I was going to bring as a bonus, but I didn't want to push my luck.
What's the name of the actress, the blonde actress who played the police officer?
I know it, but I'm not going to be able to retrieve that name.
Well, I can tell you, it's Tara Spencer Nairn.
Yes.
Tara Spencer Nairn appears in a movie I saw the other day. Well, not the other day. I guess it's about a month ago now. It's called Home Free. In fact, these Kleenexes were from the premiere that I watched at this film festival. Home Free is the directorial debut of a guy I've come to know very well named Avi Federgreen. And I'm here to tell you, Tara is great in this. The whole cast is great in this. And this is a great movie. And I have no idea what happens when you make a great movie in this country. I guess I'm going to find out by following Avi's journey. But it's excellent. And the crowd was crying, and it was just very well done. And I just want to give some mad props to Avi and Tara and everybody who was in this great Canadian film I watched called Home free.
Look at that, you hit the post. Anyway, the reason I bring that up, though, is while I was in Regina, I did have like an afternoon off, and I drove down an hour
Dog River.
to Dog River, a.k.a. Rouleau, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Because I had to go. I mean, I'm in Regina. I got to go see Dog River.
Of course. Yeah, it's you got to do it.
And
So
I had
what
dinner.
was it like?
I had dinner at the Dog River Hotel, the bar and across the road from it is the Dog River Community Center. And so there's a few things, and they've got plaques. Unfortunately, it being, the Canadian film and television industry, things aren't kept up very well, which is too bad. But walking around the downtown, which is to call it a downtown is kind of right. It's like a road,
Main Street,
a road off of the highway with a few buildings, and then there's a few houses kind of on the peripheral. It's not even a hamlet. It's so small, but you're walking through basically a movie set. Now, through all my dealings with Letterkenny and Shoresy, I've been on many movie sets, and walking through this town where people live and still do business was like walking through a movie set, but unfortunately not, the place is a little dilapidated. The corner gas is gone, and I think it burnt down or something. Like the grain elevator that you see is, there's just no money in keeping it up, unfortunately. But I asked the owner of the bar, like where I had dinner, like, do you still get a lot of people coming through here? And she said, yeah, we do still get a lot of people who want to see Dog River, and it's just too bad.
Well, it was a huge show for this country.
Yeah.
It's funny that you have a show about Letterkenny and Shoresy because they kind of pick up that mantle, like that's in the spirit.
Yeah, for sure.
Of corner gas.
And with Letterkenny, you can just go visit Sudbury, and you're going to find a lot of the places where they've shot. But this year, it was really cool to see. A little sad just to see how it's kind of been allowed to be let go. But hopefully, I don't know if there's any money in fixing things up. But I feel like it's a place we got to kind of keep. Like, we don't have a Canadian version of the Smithsonian where you can say, like, let's send this.
No, but you can still go to Molly's Reach, right?
Yeah,
like the Beachcombers restaurant thing there. You can still do that, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and I think they just put the Rosebud sign back on the motel from Schitt's Creek. For the longest time, it was in the CBC headquarters, like on their wall. I think they've put that back in, like, so. Did
you know the daughter was married to the guy from Colorado?
What daughter? Who? What?
The Schitt's Creek daughter.
Okay.
I didn't watch this. Is it
Oh,
Alexis?
yeah.
Is it Alexis?
I forget her name, but yeah.
I think it's Alexis on the show anyway. But yeah, she's married. Annie Murphy, I believe
Annie
is her
Murphy,
name.
that's
Yeah,
right.
she's married to the guy from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fun fact.
Yeah, she's a great actress. She had a great show called Kevin Can Fuck Himself, which was really, really well done. I think it only had a couple of seasons, but and probably that's all it needed, but it was really well done.
Well, Yes, We Are Open was very well done. Mm-hmm. Season 8 was you're getting better at this. And I just want to say thank you for you and Moneris stepping up to sponsor an independent podcast like Toronto Mike. I want to say thank you to you, Al Grego.
Thank you for being a great promoter and partner, Mike. I love my visits here, and I'm a proud FOTM and looking forward to many more.
Well, I'll see you Saturday. Happy birthday again. On that note, I pulled one final jam.
Ready? Go! Come on, Bimbo, please! Well done, and out comes Bimbo, and here's Bimbo with...
Introducing Bimbo, the birthday clown, and son of Happy.
Here he goes.
Bimbo, Bimbo, I'm the birthday clown. Bimbo, Bimbo, here I am the birthday show. Bimbo, Bimbo, I would like to say...
Good shot.
To you and you, a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Al Grego, the cuddly one, and that's a little Uncle Bobby Bimbo, the birthday clown. And if you get that reference, you're listening to the right podcast.
Thanks, bud.
I'm owed a new version of this closing theme by Rob Bruce. Because I've been shitting all over his AI product, do you think I should maybe just be more patient with him? I don't pay him a salary, but
I think I heard he's working on the next TPS intro so you may have been shelved.
Actually,
you may have been shelved.
If that's true, I'm going to be shaking my fist at him when he's at the next host. The next host, by the way, with Rob Bruce and Bob Willett. Did you see those Indy 88 ratings?
Yeah, amazing. That's the Willett effect.
Willett's going to bring some further rating numbers and etc., some info to the next toast, which is June 26th before TMLX 19. Again, everybody listening is invited to TMLX 19 at Great Lakes Brewery. That's 30 Queen Elizabeth Boulevard, down the street from the Costco in South Etobicoke, 6 to 9 p.m. That's a Thursday, and Palma Pasta they promised me they're going to deliver a bunch of food by 5:30. But yeah, the event's 6 to 9. Come hang out. Say hi. You never know who's going to show up. Will the snowman be there? You have to show up to find out. Will Al Grego be there? Confirmed. And that brings us to the end of our 1,709th show. Go to TorontoMike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. What needs would they be? I say that every episode. I'm like, what am I talking about? Much love to all who made this possible. That's Great Lakes Brewery. We enjoyed our fresh craft beer during this recording. Palma Pasta. Al's getting a lasagna right now. Maneris. Al. Much love to Maneris. I get to shout out this season 8 for the rest of the month. I don't have any speakers, though.
We'll get you some for next season.
Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. They're in the midst of a great season. Check them out at Christie Pitts. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Building Toronto Skyline. And, of course, Ridley Funeral Home. See you all tomorrow. Tom Harrington visits for his exit interview. If you want to see the live stream, live.torontomike.com, it's 2 p.m. Tom Harrington, he's retired from the CBC after over 4 decades. We're going to talk about it. See you all then.